Hello and welcome to my video, lesson 1 part 1 for output machines, input-output machines. We have here a machine that says input times by 5 is a machine, and then there's an output. So let's look at that machine and keep in mind that whatever input we put, we can have any different input, but it will provide a different output. So let's say we input 1. If we input 1, which is this column, times by 5, then the output is 5. If we input 2, then we times by 5, because it's the machine. Whoops, we don't get 5, we get 10. And so on and so forth. 3 times by 5 is 15. And 4 times by 5 is 20. So we can see that there's an input, we do the machine, then there's the output. So this is how it'll show up in this topic, just like this input-output machine. Alright, so keep that in mind. Now you might be given a question that says, similar to this thing below, like in ratios, every apple costs $2. So if you have 30 apples, how much do you have to pay? Well, as a ratio, we'd say for every 1 apple, it is $2, and this is our ratio. Right? So if we have 30 apples, it's still the same ratio, it's still apples to cost, then we would have $60. If we were doing ratios, that's how we would show it. Now, in this chapter, we'll see it as an input-output machine, with an input machine labeled as times 2. Here, like that. So, with an input of 30, right? Apples, there's 30 apples, so input of 30 times by 2. So, 30 times by 2, and we get 60. And it's that simple. Beyond this chapter, or this lesson in the same unit, we'll begin to see equations like below. So where we have 2x, 2 times the input, equals y. And just a note about that, when we have 2x, it's 2 times x. When we have 2.x, it's 2 times x. And it's all the same. It's just because we don't want to write 2 times x, because it's not clear which one is the x, which one is the times, so that's why we write it with a dot or write it right next to each other. Oh, the other version is also 2, you can have in brackets like that. And more complicated ones are seen as 3x plus 1 equals y. And this is what we're going to be looking at as well. Or we already talked about this in class, hopefully. So 3, we're going to call this the change. And 1 is the base case. So base case is where the input is 0, the output is 1. So that's the base case. And here's the change. From 1 to 4, it's plus 3. From 4 to 7, it's plus 3. 7 to 10 is plus 3. So that's the change. And this is the base case. Alright, I hope this helps for lesson 1.1 input-output machines.